What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Anime Take It or Leave It. This is where we let you guys know whether we're going to take your prompt and agree with it or we're going to leave it. I have nothing to do with that. Alright, today we're talking about My Hero Academia. Alright, we are here for My Hero Academia, Take It or Leave It. So let's just hurry up and get right into the first prompt. Todoroki is stronger than Deku. Take it or leave it.
Okay, Todoroki's stronger than Deku. I am going to leave this for several reasons. The main reason, I'm considering where Deku is right now in his career in terms of hero and in terms of his mastery of his quirk. We know he can use 20% one for all, and we know he's experienced 100% one for all. Even though that wasn't by himself, we know he knows what it feels like now, which I think is gonna allow him to unlock even more percentage, even without Eri. Whereas if you look at Todoroki, he doesn't even have a license yet. He still hasn't mastered his two quirks, basically. The whole point of his quirks of being half and half is that one of them can help him recover while the other one is overheated, and we haven't even seen him begin to try to do that yet. So I'm gonna leave it.
Right. You know what? This is a little closer than what you're pitching it as, but I'm definitely gonna leave this as well. I think Deku is definitely stronger than Todoroki. Listen, one for all quirk is amazing. I just think all around right now at 20%, you know, even with the shoot style, now he has long range attacks. That's enough to pressure Todoroki. So I'm gonna leave this.
Bakugo is stronger than Deku. Take it or leave it.
I'm gonna leave this. I do not think Bakugo can hang with Deku right now where Deku is at. Do I think Bakugo has, you know, amazing explosive quirk? Of course. But there's questions that come with Bakugo, like his battle against Seiji during the licensing exam. Seiji made him look like food. He was light work. Bakugo also got kidnapped. So there's many instances where I'm seeing things that Bakugo has failed in that I know Deku would come out on top.
Bakugo kidnap art.
That's his favorite art. So I'm definitely gonna leave this. Deku is stronger than Bakugo to me.
I mean, I'm leaving this also, but for different reasons.
Wow! Bakugo's #1 fan is leaving
this. Yes. I'm definitely going to leave it, though. Because if you look at last season where they had their duel, I might be inclined to say Bakugo's stronger in that duel. But as we've seen in this season, he's unlocked a whole new ability in the sense of, like you said, he can do long-range attacks. He can use more percentage of one for all. He has his Pro Hero license. He's been in several Pro Hero operations, trained under the likes of Lemillion and Night Eye.
Exactly.
He's been to Pro Hero conferences where they strategize and plan things. And you know Degu's all about that. I don't think Bakugo is touching this right now.
Yeah, definitely not. My Hero is one of the most overrated anime in the anime community. Take it or leave it. This is spicy. This is real spicy right now.
I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take it. Ooh. I'm going to take this. My Hero Academia is a good show. It's solid. But I cannot say it's a great show. I cannot say it's a staple. It's a staple just because of how many people watch it. It's not a staple because of the quality of the show. I'm gonna leave.
Man. My Hero is one of the most overrated anime in the anime community. I'm gonna take this. My Hero is definitely overrated, strictly because it's a new gateway. You know, when you see a lot of new gateway series come through, you know, Dragon Ball was a gateway anime, Naruto was a gateway anime. Now My Hero is in that position as a gateway anime, but it's different. You know, a lot of us grew up watching a lot of long-running shonen. This is one gateway series that is not following that format. We are seeing it, you know, seasonally. So it's a different thing. So I feel like a lot of us are just not used to it, but it's definitely not on the level of, you know, a Naruto, One Piece, or Dragon Ball. So I'm gonna take this.
The power system in My Hero Academia is Take it or leave it.
power system. I'm gonna take this. See, because I'm a One Piece fan, I see, you know, when there's devil fruits that are brought into One Piece, we get to see them have their, you know, combat side of the devil fruit. But when I'm looking at quirks in My Hero, I'm seeing some quirks in there where it's like, you are just giving this person no shot to hang with other people. Like, there has to be some other way where people can fight without, you know, having the quirks. We know class 1B is more support class. People are working on that side of things as well, so we get all that. But I just think that, you know, you give somebody one for all, and you give somebody, you know, Mineta's quirk. It's like, what is my man supposed to do? Like, you gotta even the odds a little bit. So I'm definitely gonna take this.
Yeah, especially just adding on, especially when you look at the man's camera lens. Like, come on. You know, you look at the principal. What is his quirk again? Dog form? What? All right, come on. I'm gonna take this.
Sir Night Eye should not have died. Take it or leave it.
Okay, I'm gonna take this. Night Eye should not have died the way he did. It was a sad moment. Everybody wished it didn't happen, but it didn't really push anyone to become any stronger. Because as we saw, Lemillion lost his power, you know, and it happened after the fight ended, really. So there was no big MC moment where they used the death of a mentor to unlock, you know, surpass their limits. And you know what I'm saying? They could have saved that for another plot-heavy point in the story to make one of those two characters, either Lemillion get his powers back, or Deku, you know, push himself even further. But the way it happened, it was kind of just like, oh, boo-hoo. All right, let's move on.
I'm gonna take it for a different reason though. I think that Night Eye should not have lost to Overhaul. You are All Might's right-hand man. Why is your pupil, aka Lemillion, outperforming you in the battle against Overhaul? You are, listen, I know he doesn't really have a combative quirk, but at the end of the day, there should be, you as All Might's right-hand man, you should be able to handle somebody like Overhaul, considering that Lemillion was making Overhaul look light. Overhaul had to call his goons in for help. Like, I just feel like, you know, that's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. I don't think he should have died that way.
Mirio deserves one for all over Deku. Take it or leave it.
The time has come. I am going to take this, absolutely. Listen, and it's no shade to Deku, because listen, I think that Deku was not a bad candidate for one for all. But if you tell me that Mirio was not better, you're lying. You are absolutely lying. I mean, listen, the man has heart, right? The man has the ability to fight like none other. He's a great hero too. Yeah, we saw Deku's moments where he doesn't even think before going in to save somebody, and Mirio hesitated. We get all that, but Mirio literally worked so hard with a quirk that people thought was useless to now put him in the conversation of being the next #1 hero. Like, absolutely, Mirio should have gotten one for all. There's no question.
I have mixed feelings about this because, like you said, Mirio has definitely done more with his quirk than Deku has with one for all so far in terms of usage and versatility of the quirk. However, when you're looking at those key motivations, like you said before, the majority of things that we saw from Deku were things that he's done without one for all. And that was All Might's main motivation for picking him, because he saw him go in to face a villain, an actual legitimate villain that All Might had to fight. So we're not talking about, you know, the TikTok villain. We're not talking about, you know, Ice Cream Man, evil. Nah, we're talking about an actual All Might level villain. Deku ran in to fight him to save his friend Bakugo, who's a bully. So that is pushing him over, and that's why All Might chose him over Mirio.
Right. I'm not saying Deku's a bad candidate. I think Deku's a great candidate for one for all as well. But compared to what Lemillion has set up prior to All Might even meeting Deku, I think in terms of Mirio deserving one for all over Deku, I'm gonna leave that. If we're gonna say that
Mirio will be more powerful with One For All at max power than Deku would be with One For All at max power. I agree. But in terms of deserving of the quirk, I think Deku deserves it more than Mirio.
Dang, that's crazy. I gotta go with Mirio. Mirio is definitely slept on. Definitely slept on. Tokiyami is stronger than Kirishima and Ida. Take it or leave it.
I'm gonna partially leave this. I do think Tokiyami is stronger than I think Tokiyami versus Ida would be like a solid half v half, because we have seen Ida make leaps and bounds since, you know, his terrible days of, you know, crying on the, you know, we have villains trying to take him out just because he was so weak minded.
Overrated.
You know, so I think Tokiyami can stand a fair chance against Ida. Kirishima, I don't think Tokiyami has a shot against him. His quirk is a good match and his quirk is pretty strong, but I don't think his quirk alone is enough to put him over the advantage Kirishima has in terms of pro hero experience. You know, like Deku previously, he's been in several pro hero operations. He's trained directly under pro heroes. Right. He's been in situations where he's had to make up for the failings of pro heroes. We've seen him in the Fat Gum fight actually lead the fight basically, and been able to, you know, account for the gap in basically raw strength that Fat Gum had, and he wasn't able to take down those 3 guys at one time. We saw Kirishima able to hold his own against them. I don't see Tokiyami doing that right now. So I'm gonna leave that.
You know what? I'm gonna take this. And I'm gonna take this halfway, because it depends on where they are fighting. If they are fighting
That's fair.
in a cave, I don't think Kirishima or Ida is making it out.
I mean, you got to take into account that he has no control over that at this point in time.
What?
Tokiyami cannot control himself. He's in complete darkness. He has to fight.
No, I know he can't control himself, but they definitely can't do anything to stop that. I mean, when Tokiyami is within the shadows, he's arguably top 4, top 3 in the class when he's in the shadows. I don't know if Red Riot is enough to counter that form. I don't know. Ida cannot counter
Max Hardening? I don't know.
When we're in the shadows, now if it's outside broad daylight, of course that's food. Kirishima's beating him. But in the shadows, I'm gonna take Tokiyami. I'm definitely gonna take Tokiyami.
Deku isn't a crybaby. He wasn't a bad choice for One For All. Take it or leave it.
I'm going to take this. You know, as I said in the previous prompt, listen, Deku is not a bad pick for One For All at all, and he's not a crybaby. My only problem with him being chosen is that Mirio had his whole resume already set out, and for you to just come through and give Deku One For All right after Mirio worked so hard, I feel like it's a slap in the face. Listen, Deku didn't do much as Mirio had to do to prove himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, Deku, obviously, he showed his ability as you know, a great hero. He has a great hero's mindset. He's courageous, right? And we love that about him. But the thing is that Mirio had a whole resume worth of you know, accolades and you know, his athletic ability, his ability to fight. All this stuff was presented before All Might just said nah. Like, I feel like that's a slap in the face to Mirio. So I'm not saying Deku's a bad pick. I'm gonna take this. He's a great pick for One For All, but so is Mirio.
I'm gonna take this too. I think Deku was a good choice for One For All. I think it's just a matter of perspective. I do agree that Deku cries a lot in the sense of when he's trying to surpass his limits, but you got to look at it in the sense of when we're looking at an anime such as like DBZ, for example, right? When Goku has to surpass his limits and either use a new transformation or unlock one mid-fight, what does he do? Right? He screams, right? He's so angry that he uses his rage, his emotion, to unlock that next stage. For Deku, it's the same thing, except instead of rage, it's more so like sadness and overcoming that sadness. So that's why instead of screaming, he's crying. So I understand the crybaby, but I mean, I still think he was a good choice for One For All. I'm gonna take this.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a great choice. The My Hero Academia fan base is extremely cringy. Take it or leave it.
I'm gonna take this. I think in terms of anime, we all know. Come on, we know there's two sides to this. We know there's three sides. Okay, you got the manga kids, right? They know everything. They hear you. You know, heard a whiff of My Hero. They ready to spoil the last ending of the show for you. You know, those are the manga kids. You got the anime kids that watch anime. They know a lot about anime, but they don't know the full story because they don't need to read the manga. And then you have the My Hero kids. Okay, these are the kids that think they watch anime, but they only watch My Hero. These are the kids that have seen Sword Art Online and My Hero Academia, and so because of that, Kirito can watch Goku and Naruto. Because, all right, these are those kids. Okay, so yes, I think the fan base is cringy. I think there's a clear division in the sense of you can tell if someone is a fan of the show and not a part of that cringy aspect, but there's a huge aspect that just thinks, you know, My Hero is the best thing of all time. They've only seen My Hero on one other show. You know, that you ask them what Gurren Lagann is, they're like, oh, you mean the Bakugo episode with the... Yeah, all right, yeah, I'm going to take this. What about you?
Definitely got to walk on a tightrope here, but I'm definitely going to take this as well.
Okay.
But I'm going to take this for different reasons. Listen, we have to remember, a lot of us in the anime community have watched, you know, very different shows for multiple years, you know, growing up. So we grew up watching anime. My Hero is a gateway anime. That's what a lot of us don't really realize, but it is a gateway anime. There's an influx of millions of new anime fans coming through, and you know, we can't really gatekeep them. We gotta kind of have to teach them how it really works, because a lot of the times, you know, the new My Hero fans don't really know how, you know, the community is really set up and how it works. I mean, this is the first time that I really have ever seen to this level that the mangaka of My Hero Academia is literally getting death threats for having certain things within his show, within his, you know, his manga. And back in our day, if we were watching a manga, I mean, if we were reading a manga or watching an anime that we did not agree with, we would just not watch it. But this is a different era, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, for the long-time anime fans, it's cringy. Definitely the mangaka obviously probably has some feelings about it. But I think it's more so that, you know, they have to be taught. They don't really know, you know, what it really is in the community. They don't know how, you know, the community really runs.
Yeah, it's just like a Canute v. Askeladd situation, so, you know. All right. My Hero doesn't have a vast and compelling world building. Take it or leave it.
I'm going to take this. My Hero does not have a vast world, and it is also not compelling. Absolutely. Not saying that My Hero's world is bad, but because we have seen series like One Piece and like Naruto and DBZ, when we move into a My Hero, we expect a certain level of world building that we are not getting. Will that improve later on? Maybe. We have no idea. But as of right now, the world building in My Hero is not... It's not a top tier level. It's not.
I'm gonna take this as well. When you really think about My Hero, you're only thinking of the main. You got the main characters. You got the people that interact with the main characters, and within those that interact with the main characters are some pro heroes. We know that there are countless pro heroes out there, and we know that there are other classes out there at the, you know, My Hero Academia, but we don't even know who they are or what they look like. Like, we don't really... Yeah. All we know is that they exist out there, but we have no idea who they are or what they look like. So the creator of the show tries to make it seem as if the world is vast by saying all those people are out there, but we have no idea who they are. So we're pretty much only surrounded by the main characters. So I'm going to take this.
Todoroki has the most potential in My Hero Academia. Take it or leave it.
Well, there's two things you got to consider here. There's two things. You got to talk about, like, versatility, and you got to talk about what we've seen in the show. Potentially, if you're talking about versatility of his quirk, with the ability, you know how we saw Endeavor, where he was like in the fight against Sanomu, if he was using too much of his power, he was going to overheat, and that was going to be the end of the fight. He wouldn't have been able to fight anymore. You can push yourself a little bit after that, but that's really it. Todoroki does not have that limitation with either fights with either ice or fire. So versatility wise, he has the most potential in the whole show, in the whole universe of this show. However, if we're going to talk about experience and what we've actually seen in the show, I'm going to leave this because, like this comment says, his potential is so high. Why did he start out at an adult Gohan phase? If we're going to see this, I'm going to need to see this being used in the show. I want to see him fighting against Deku washing him, and then him going, oh, all right, I'm a little tired. I'm going to just switch sides. And then him coming back, and now Deku in the airy backpack completely shot. They can't rewind anymore. Todoroki wins the fight. But I haven't seen him even begin to even try to do that.
You gotta give.
Why are you waiting? What are you waiting for? You're already behind. Mineta has a license. What are you doing? What are you waiting for?
Listen. Bakugo doesn't have his license either. He has high potential. Allow me to step in. Allow me to step in.
That's a whole nother situation.
Todoroki, I'm taking this, has the most potential. Because of things that you stated, you know, the fire and ice,
potentially, but not actually.
And listen, and his fighting ability is ridiculous. And I still stick to this point. He is one of the best defensive fighters within Class 1A. The only person I think in Class 1A that is better at defense than Todoroki right now is Kirishima. And I do think that Todoroki will find a way to even surpass that because he can double down on the fire and ice. So I'm gonna give it to him.
Yeah, potentially.
I think potentially.
One day, someday, maybe in a manga. I don't know. Mirio or Hawks is gonna be the next #1 hero after Endeavor. Take it or leave it.
I'm gonna leave this. Because listen, right now, I don't think Hawks has ` hero potential. If he did, I think he would be trying to rival Endeavor rather than he would be trying to counter Endeavor rather than, you know, teaming up.
Accepting the support role.
Absolutely. In terms of Mirio, we don't know if he's gonna get his quirk back. On the case that he does get his quirk back, can he hang with Endeavor on that tier or that All Might tier? I'm not too sure. There's other people, you know, I think that will get into that role. Not gonna state that right now because we have no idea, but I don't think it's gonna be Mirio or Hawks. I don't see it. I would like it to be Mirio, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
I mean, I'm gonna leave this as well. Not really because I disagree, and I don't think Mirio or Hawks have what it takes to be in the consideration. Not because of that, but I think this commenter is not giving Endeavor his due diligence. Okay, I don't think Endeavor's got another like year in the tank as #1. Endeavor, we saw what he did to that Nomu. Yeah. So from that, you can accurately infer. I mean, yeah, Hawks helped a lot in terms of like support, in terms of saving the people, in terms of damage control for the surrounding area. In terms of like a power scale person to like take on the top strongest guy. Maybe if, you know, All For One comes back, I can't see Hawks doing anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But Hawks not in there.
In terms of Endeavor, he's still going up. He's still, you know, unlocking new abilities. I don't know what's going on with his kid, but Endeavor is still unlocking new abilities. His power is still going up. He's pushing his limit of overheat further and further. He might even push it into Fire Force. We don't know, but I'm gonna leave it because Endeavor still got a lot left in the tank. He's gonna be #1 hero for, I think, at least another 10 years. I think so.
Hopefully, we'll see what happens. Mineta should not be in Class 1A. Take it or leave it. This is a hot take.
See, I would love to take this, but I can't. I would love to take this just because I think his quirk is so whack, it's so lame. But I mean, if you think about other people in Class 1A, we have the Sugarhead guy who just eats like candy bars and he gets stronger based on how much Pop Rocks he takes in. Like, come on. I mean, if he's in there, we can't kick Mineta out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm gonna take this.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave this, man. Listen, is he bottom of the barrel in Class 1A? Of course, for sure. Absolutely.
For sure.
But you know, from multiple shows that I've seen, a lot of the bottom of the barrel characters have their moments to shine, and I do think Mineta should be allowed to to have that chance. Now, if that chance comes and he flops, then get him out of here. Bring in somebody from Class 1B.
What about Arm Man that can grow extra?
Let's not be disrespectful. Let's give him his chance. He hasn't had that chance yet. So I'm gonna leave this for now.
Deku might not actually become the #1 hero. Take it or leave it.
I'm going to leave this. Now, I know there's a lot that was surrounding, the recent movie that dropped. Obviously, there's things that happened in that movie that, may be spoilers within the future. We have no idea. But I do think right now, everything is set up for Deku to eventually assume that role. He has that one for all quirk. He's ready to go. I think that's what All Might's plans for him are, and I think he'll take it.
I'm gonna leave this. I think Deku is definitely gonna become the #1 hero. I don't think it might necessarily be right after Endeavor. I don't think it's gonna be, an immediate transition from Deku graduates UA and now he's the #1 hero. I'm not saying all of that, but eventually. I think Deku's definitely gonna be the #1 hero one day, just because of he knows the stakes. He knows the situation of how he even got One for All. He knows that All Might as the symbol of peace is no longer there. He knows that villains are ramping up more and more. He knows that Lemillion was considered for the quirk and passed over for him. And he also knows that Lemillion can't even use his quirk anymore. Right. So he has to carry all their hopes and dreams on his back.
Absolutely.
So especially as an emotional person as Deku is, I don't think he's even if he doesn't want to do it anymore, he's gonna do it just because he's pretty much obligated to do so because of his effect on his friends, like, All Might and Lemillion.
Despite how good of a show it is, and its overwhelming popularity, I find it unlikely that it's going to go down in history as one of the classics, like Dragon Ball, One Piece, Fairy Tail, and Bleach. Take it or leave it.
I'm gonna take this. At the point in the show right now, it is not gonna go down in history as one of the best shows of all time. It has the potential to do so. The writer just has to change up some things, add some other things. But as of right now, it doesn't really have any one thing that's so unique or so mind-blowing that we have to put it in the category of one of the greats. When you're looking at DBZ, we have the most insane transformations and the most insane power scaling. They got it up there. We're looking at Naruto. We have the most insane power system, most insane world building, you can argue. When you're looking at One Piece, you have also the most insane writing, most insane character development. Like when you're looking at My Hero, what do you see that is on that level that you would put it in that category?
I'm going to leave this. I do think My Hero will eventually be in that conversation. And it's because of what it has been able to do. Not even within, developing its own community and being a gateway, but the effect it's had on culture outside. I mean, My Hero now is a staple in the game. People are cosplaying as different characters, notable figures. We have, it breaking box office numbers with its movies. I mean, My Hero, no matter if we're talking about the quality of the show, right now, it introduced and popularized seasonal anime. Like, there were definitely seasonal anime before its time, but it's bringing that to light now. It's changed the entire game, pretty much. Now, is its quality on the level of, those shows? I don't think so. You can make a case for maybe Fairy Tail or something, but, Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece, I don't think it's seen it. Bleach, I don't think it's seen it. So obviously it's not on that level, but what it's been able to bring to the game as a new show and a gateway, I definitely think it will be in that conversation in the near future. Absolutely.
Ooh, okay. Prominence Burn is better than United States of Smash. Take it or leave it.
Now it depends on which way we are talking about this. Now, if we are saying that Prominence Burn is a stronger attack than United States of Smash, I'm gonna have to leave this. I don't think so. But if we are saying it is a more visually appealing attack, yes, I'll take it. I'll take this. I think Prominence Burn is one of the coolest techniques that we have seen in the series thus far. Even though it's against, like, you know, a Nomu or something, that attack against somebody like an All for One or something would really shoot the series up, because it's incredible. It's definitely an incredible technique. Endeavor looked he looked like a #1 hero in that situation. Absolutely.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about this also. I mean, United States of Smash puts out more force, but at the end of the day, it's a punch. You know, so when we saw All Might do that against the Nomu at UA during the first arc, pretty much, like, yeah, it knocked the Nomu, like, basically into the atmosphere. It didn't even destroy him. It just kind of, you know what I'm saying? It kind of like knocked him away, right, knocked him unconscious, right, etc., etc. Whereas the Prominence Burn is like carbonizing you into ash. You know, so from the visual perspective, I'm gonna take it because Prominence Burn looks cooler, but I honestly don't think he could use this against All for One. I think you still need, you know, that force aspect to do that. So if we're going visually, I'm gonna take it.
Right.
If we're going force, I'm gonna leave it.
Absolutely. Tamaki has arguably one of the most powerful quirks in UA. Take it or leave it.
I'm gonna leave this. I think Tamaki's quirk is definitely one of, if not the most versatile, because you can use it in almost any situation. It definitely has its limitations, but you can pretty much, if you know who you're going up against and you know their quirk, you can prepare accordingly and eat whatever you have to have potentially like 8 quirks that day. You know, so versatility wise, I agree. But in just terms of raw power, I don't think anything that he's eating is going to be able to overcome any type of force quirk like One for All, for example.
Which is why you are wrong, and which is why you should take this. Like I am going to take this.
Why?
First of all, Tamaki is in the big 3 for a reason. He's in the big 3 not in Class 1A, but in all of UA. That means they are pretty much the next up to become pro heroes. I do think that Tamaki, and now you mentioned his versatility, and I do think his versatility puts him in that category. But him having that versatility better than anybody else makes him one of the most powerful within UA. It makes him one of the, you know, one of the best characters in the series, with just having that quirk where he can eat something and prepare. He can have offense and defense all at the same time. Oh, by the way, if I eat something that is fast, there's my agility, there's my speed boost. I mean, and he can use multiple different abilities all at the same time. Absolutely, I'm taking this. He's very powerful.
The My Hero Academia story would be more interesting if it was told from Bakugo's perspective. Take it or leave it.
From Bakugo's perspective, I'm gonna have to leave this. You know, in certain aspects, I do think Bakugo is, you know, a better character than Deku, I guess you can say, or more, you know, interesting. Because I do think that, you know, Bakugo has certain reasons. But I don't think it would be better from Bakugo's perspective. I do think that Deku is a perfect candidate to have the story being told from, because you literally met the #1 hero literally on like day 1. That was literally your dream, and now he's giving you his quirk. So now, I mean, definitely Deku is prime. He needs to be telling the story.
I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this for the fact that, as we mentioned before, we're currently at the point where we're waiting for something to be added to My Hero to push it to one of the best anime of all time. It is in question. It is not locked in that is one of the best animes of all time. We're waiting for that. We're waiting for something to happen, okay? A lot of people are waiting for Todoroki. Y'all gonna stay waiting, but there's definitely other things that you could be waiting for.
The kidnap guy will get it done.
You love the kidnap. That's your favorite arc. Yo, if My Hero was told from Bakugo's perspective, think about it. Think about it.
No license.
What shonen
kidnapped?
Great. Cut the BS. Okay. What shonen do we know that features a rival? Pretty much the whole premise of the show is basically an MC and the rival and the power levels boosting off each other. Right? We got DBZ, we got Goku and Vegeta. Right? We got Naruto and Sasuke. Mm-hmm. Right? If this was a show that was from Bakugo's perspective, it would basically be like if Naruto was from the perspective of Sasuke. We know that in these situations, in the case of Vegeta, in the case of Sasuke, and I think in the case of Bakugo, the rival, the angry, you could argue that he's emo or whatever, but the angry rival sometimes is more interesting than the main character. And a lot of people say that about the show. If he was the main character and we had the rival as, the happy, optimistic, good-natured person, it would be an entirely different show. There wouldn't be any type of crybaby, anything, because we wouldn't be able to see that from Bakugo's perspective. We would only see that from Deku's perspective, right? So from Bakugo's perspective, all we would see was this weak little kid that we used to bully. Now he's OP with some type of crazy quirk. Now he's beating my behind, outlasting me, beating all these levels, becoming pro hero before me, and I have the most powerful quirk. I'm gonna try my hardest to beat him. And I'm going to do that however way we can. Just how we saw when Bakugo went up to Deku in the last season and they had a fight because he was just mad at him and he was like, yo, come with me. Now, he was like, why? Where we going? Come. That would be the whole show. Bakugo would be trying to fight everyone. It would be way more action in the show. It would be a lot less crying. And we would get to see more of a Todoroki Bakugo interaction. I think that alone, just being in the rival's perspective instead of like the main seat, I think that would, be able to give it enough originality to push it over the edge to make it one of those shows.
First, to answer your question, I think that Code Geass is a perfect example of an anti-hero being the main protagonist. And I think that
I'm not taking Code Geass seriously, but
you're not taking Code Geass seriously as a show where the anti-hero is the main character. What are you? Are you ridiculous?
I mean, if you wanna get into that, we could get into like Dexter's Lab and all types of nonsense. But I mean, I'm not count. What?
I'm just saying. I don't think Bakugo can bring a story to a level of like a Lelouch was able to bring out Code Geass and flesh that out. So I'm definitely gonna take Deku. But you guys let us know down in the comment section below which prompts you agree with, which prompts you disagree with, take or leave. And with that, we'll see you next time. Peace.
Game!